Joan, Ferris
Joan.
wants to say hi.
Where is he?
You can't see me, but I'm here.
I can see you. I can smell you.
You probably can, because I haven't had a shower since last week.
Oh,
Uh,
you poor thing, but it's so lovely to connect.
Well, I am still waiting.
Oh, I know. I know about that. I can feel the waiting. I can feel the pulsing.
Yes, holics.
Yes.
Ladies
The
and gentlemen,
holics pulsing.
I'm gonna have to leave y'all.
I love you and leave ya.
I love you all, and I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Ferris. Love you.
Ferris.
Ferris, bye. Thanks for coming on.
Be
We
careful.
love you more.
Wasn't that a nice surprise?
Oh gosh.
Wasn't that a nice surprise, everybody?
That was great.
Yes, thank you.
The good thing is, what's the good thing here? The indicator that is switched on is humor.
Humor, yes.
Joy.
Humor is joy.
Yes.
This is very important.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Joy to the world.
Yay.
Oh my
I
gosh.
went out for a motorcycle ride yesterday, and you know, it's supposed to storm all weekend, so we didn't know if we'd get to take our ride, which we were going to do tomorrow, but then it looks like it's going to storm tomorrow. Then we thought, okay, maybe today. And then yesterday there was sunshine, and I said, to heck with all the construction stuff, I'm out of here. I've got to go on a ride while there's
Motorcycle.
What is that?
Those were some good pictures.
God.
Oh, thanks. I wanted to get some so you guys could see me actually riding, and Gary and I will do that later, but we were coming up on sunset, so we thought we better get back. But it was beautiful, and I want to say that it's so cool when you have these things happen, when you just get this inspiration. Now's the time to go.
Yeah.
And Gary and I took off. We were on the Natchez Trace, and when we stopped at one place, we met up with these guys, these three Mexican dudes, and we started talking to them, and they are in construction, and they do drywall and deck and stonework, all the stuff that we need.
Isn't the universe amazing when they do that?
It is just so cool. And two of them spoke beautiful English, and the other one did not. Spoke just Spanish, and we know a little Spanish, but not a lot. But you know, with a crew like that, as long as you have one person that can speak, then you really can convey what you want to do. And I'm just so excited about that. It just felt so divine that happened.
And if you have a problem with the Spanish, there's no problem at all. We have a little one there. Can you see her? Can you see her?
Oh, it's Stephania, yeah.
Yeah, can you see her? Can you see her? Yeah. He's like a little one. She's like this.
Got in my balcony yesterday morning, and today I spent 3 hours in the balcony in the sun here.
Oh, she's in the sunshine as well.
Oh, I wish I could go out in the back.
With Dana, we could see, yes.
Oh, fantastic. Well done.
I'm so happy to be here with you, John. Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here. I thought, what have I done? What have I done? I've done something weird.
Nope, everything is all good.
It's all good.
Go ahead and formally get started. And we're going to start with a dance, everybody, because this is Joy Weekend. This is Joy. So I want to see everybody dancing. And move those shoulders.
So do you have any particular dance in mind?
Just moving.
Right, I'm going to show you all something. All right, I'm going to show you all something. Okay. And if you want, you can try and get up and do this. Okay. Wait, hang on. All right. Remember somebody when I talked about Michael Turrell's solfeggio? Okay. So I actually got in touch with him and I got his music a long time ago and I use it in my class. But this music is to harmonize, and this is one of the things I'll talk about. Yeah, but there's this one, okay? And one of the things I'll show you, but you should, no, let me stop because I'm hearing them saying stop. No, I'm reminding you. I keep being told, you know this stuff innately. It's inside of you, all of you. It's inside. You just have to remember to go in there and get it. It's in these little compartments, like a Chinese mystery cabinet with the little drawers in it. And we all need to go and open these drawers and look inside, because I'm just reminding you, I'm not teaching you. I am facilitating. Is that making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a facilitator, because you know this, because in my past life, apparently I used to do this in France. So I'll show you without the music, and then I'll put on the music, okay? Right,
Okay.
so let's see if I can put this a little bit down. Okay, so can you just see what I'm doing?
Yes.
What is that?
What?
This.
Move hula the hips.
Yeah, but what am I making? I'm making a particular
Figure
sign.
8.
Oh, infinity.
Yes!
Yes, the figure 8.
Okay, figure of 8 are harmonizers. What else is it called in the Far East? Figure of 8.
In the Far East, I don't know.
Infinity.
Oh, infinity. Yeah.
It is the most auspicious number in China, and after that in Japan. So here is the music for this. Okay. So this is Michael Terrell's solfeggio. So I'm doing it with my hands as well. The hips, the hands, the hips, the hands, the hips, the hands. Now I'm going to make the hands more complicated. If you're seeing this, it's an 8, it's an 8. Double 8s, it's a power number now, it's 88.
Yo hago esas cosas. Yo la verdad que hago esas cosas.
Now, if you want to get really adventurous, you give a little dip down and come up, down and come up, down and come up, down and come up, down and come up. Can you all see Stephanie?
Yes.
She switched on. This is the idea, right? This is the idea that you can use all the way through. Oh my gosh, no, not now. This is the idea that
Am I doing this right?
okay? Right. So if you get this right, you can actually, so I do this every morning. So watch this one. We're gonna do this later on.
Okay.
But you're supposed to do above the head, in the middle of the solar plexus, beneath the knees. It's a big 8. 8. And when you get good at this, the hips going one direction and the hands going the vertical line and the hips do the horizontal line.
Look at John and movement. Ooh, and everybody.
Woo!
I'm moving too. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I might have a little.
Yeah, it looks so. Now this is the one that encourages the Kundalini. So I'm going to show you this one. Down the central meridian line. Yeah. So it's going up the spine.
Like this.
Yeah. And then if you just want to stay simple, you just do that one.
This is a simple way, just
Yeah, this is a simple way. Just the hips leading the body, and it's very loose. It's not tight.
okay. Do you bring, what do you do with your feet? Do you have them coming up off the floor?
My feet are rotating, but you can't see them very well. Can you?
Okay.
Maybe you can see that.
We see the legs, not the feet.
Okay. So you're keeping your knees together. I've got my legs kind of far apart.
Right, because in the Far East and Latin America, when you are dancing, the knees follow the line of the hips because it is actually more modest, and they like modesty.
Okay.
Have a wide knee.
There we go.
They don't let us go in there. Under the knee.
Oh!
Everybody, how do you like that for morning? See, we call it energized living today for a reason.
Thank you.
That was great.
It's very important to move.
Thank you. What a great way to wake up the body.
All pumped up now.
Yes.
Mhm.
That was great, Joan. Thank you.
Sorry, that wasn't part of the plan.
We like random here, don't we, everybody?
What?
Yes.
Mhm.
Random.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to think, because I was listening to them today, and they was just telling them, I don't know, not this, no, not that, this, yes, that. It was really weird, but that they didn't say that. They did not say that. So the one thing you will notice, good, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 people drinking. Can you feel it? Can you feel how thirsty you are? I'm very, very thirsty now.
Yes.
Okay, that,
I have tea
What?
and I have water.
yeah. So I only have, and I'll tell you about the water thing, but I only have the lemon in the water, and the water is from a blue bottle. All right, so one of the things to,
Solar water.
yeah, is to put it in a blue bottle, a glass bottle, not plastic, okay? So because you're asking about what to do to create, entertain, activate energy, and to maintain. So this, we've done 3 things already. Hydrate, activate, and the most important part of it in yoga is everything is done with intention. Wherever the attention goes, the energy flows. It's as simple as that. But you know all this. Yeah? So now you should be able to feel, right, the rising up here of the energy that you just created down there. Well, why did we use the hips? I'll go into that in a minute. So energy, usually we talk about energy in a very sort of ascetic. It's a stereotype. It's something that we don't actually feel energy and flow within us. In the Far East, it's not. It's all part of the parcel. And India in particular, they talk about it as prana, and in China and Japan, chi or ki. And even in Israel, they talk about energy, okay? So we know, all of us know the word prana, and we know the word chi, and we think it's all one and the same. Don't we? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a difference? Does anybody think there's a difference?
I didn't think there was.
No, most people don't. Most people don't. Now you had held up a little picture of the centers, and I'm going to show you this. Can you see this?
Oh, that's the same one that I actually put on the video.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
Can you see there are 2 lines with 2 different, yes, Patricia,
Yeah.
you're dancing your fingers exactly. Yeah, I see you, Bonnie. So everybody's got that one time.
Yes.
but there's something else.
I mean,
The
it's
two
the
lines are two different colors. Okay? Now, what happens at the top there is that they meet at a point and become one. Seeing it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So there are 7 major points of entry for prana in Ayurvedic medicine. Yoga came out of Ayurvedic medicine, and Chinese meridians and Chinese acupuncture and acupressure came out of TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. They're not sure which one preceded the other, but we do know that they collaborated on a lot of things. 550 years BC, they were using this fully fledged flowing in India. Okay, so the difference, actually, there is a difference, to be honest, and the difference is prana has 7 major entry points and 122 minors. Okay, and chi uses 3 gates, yeah, which they refer to as, and you must know, I'm sure you know this, Dantien. Yeah, Dantien. Yeah,
Yes.
we know the Dantien in the solar plexus. So when they, after they've done a particular movement, they would close it down like this, because this closes down the central meridian here. And I'm going to show you how to open and close it, because that's how you can bring the energy up and take the energy down. So after they've done Tai Chi or Qigong or Shaolin martial arts, they close down and then they seal it in the gate in the middle, the solar plexus gate. There are 3 gates. One in the solar plexus, one in the heart, and one here. This is really, really important. We kind of forget about this. So this is the one that is the intuitive point in the pituitary. That's a really important gland in the endocrine system. So these 3 are only 3 of the 7 that we use in Ayurvedic medicine and yoga. Yeah, so that's the basic, the main difference. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's the main difference. Other than that, the intention with prana and chi is exactly the same. What is Tai Chi? Tai, T-A-I, is moving, and chi is energy, moving energy. And it's a constant movement of 108 movements, yeah? In yoga, we don't single out the chi the way they do. We refer to everything as prana, and prana is more than just energy on one level. It's energy basically using body, mind, and higher self. And it knits in with this one here, the consciousness line. Yeah? Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Remembering in your past life when you did all this, and probably some of you were teaching this. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah, Patricia, I'm pretty sure you were there. I don't know why, but it just, I don't know what it is about. I don't know, something with your forehead here is saying this. Anyway, so those are the 2 differences. It's a life force, chi or prana, they always say life force. The life force is more than just the life force. It's the force that permeates everything, not just in us, but I mean everything. Everything, not just on this planet. We're talking about the omniverse. It comes from source and it splays out like a big umbrella. And the omniverse is underneath the umbrella, and everything, whether we like it, we feel it, we're aware of it or not, everything is permeated by this energy field. Yet we can't stop it. We can't divert it. Why would we? We can embrace it. We can transmute it into another area. We can utilize it to the fullest. But the wonderful thing about this is that the constant flow is coming in. It's not the breath. It's not the breath. And most people think because pranayama is such a big thing in yoga and Ayurvedic medicine and in all other health, well-being, alternate medicine doctrines and ideologies, they think it's the breath. Imagine the breath as a chariot coming in, yeah, and prana is riding in the back of the chariot on that inward flow. It comes in on the breath. It is more refined and soft and delicate. It is what actually we think when we, this is an interesting thing I learned when I went to India and also Israel, that when the doctor taps the baby on the bum or anything to stimulate activity of breathing when the baby is born, they say that's the thing that starts the heart. But when the breath is taken, it's the prana that comes in and starts the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that an interesting thought?
Mm-hmm.
It's something we don't think about. So it is not us or man-made something. It is actually source that starts the creative force of the thing he created in the first place. Oh, I say he because we are accustomed to saying he. You know I don't mean he, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just saying he.
That's an androgynous
It is.
term.
And right now they want us to be more androgynous than he and she. Yeah, they don't want the feminine to overtake, but they want the feminine to be more validated and recognized. Because everything in yoga, Ayurvedic medicine, and TCM is hooked on the tangent of staying in the middle of the polarities. And the greatest polarity that we use in the world, and the one we always know and we refer to quite obviously, is the North and the South Pole. Yeah, we all know that. That's a big, huge polarity. So the point between, the midpoint between that is the balance point, the neutral point. And that's where it's best to be. You're neither tipping the scale to the north or tipping the scale to the south. And there are disadvantages if you go too far north, because that little thing raises up like that. And then this angle that you're on, something is going to come sliding down towards you and dislodging your harmony. So a lot of what TCM, Ayurvedic medicine, Tai Chi, Qigong talks about, yoga, is how to maintain the balance with intention. Does this sound familiar? Yeah. And balance, seesaw, let's imagine ourselves on a seesaw, okay? So we're on a seesaw and somebody else comes at the end. I've had this with my brother, right? Because he used to be a power weightlifter and things like that. And he used to, this was his fun thing to do. We'd go to the park and he'd say, you get on that side. Okay, good. Then he would get on the other side and I'd go, and I would go flying up in the air and fall off. And, and that was his fun thing. Why? Because it was no longer in balance. And that's what happens when we are not in balance. We go flying up or we go flying down. What causes this up and down is something very interesting. What
Joan,
does it
is
happen?
that your phone that keeps going off and on?
Oh, yes. Oh, let me turn that down.
Can you silence that? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me turn it down. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. What makes that happen? We are electrical people. Just imagine this. We are electrical people. We have more electricity than what the lights and the lamps and everything around us. And we affect the lights and the lamps and the television and the radio. So when I was very young, I used to do this experiment because I heard somebody say something about the radio waves. So let's go back to waves again. See, waves is all through this thing is waves, okay? And I think that's why they mentioned that to you. if you wanted to have a little bit of a curiosity, and we have to stay curious, my little thing was, when I found out about these waves as a child, and my mother told me, well, you know, in order to get this channel, you have to turn this dial, and then you go on the particular frequency. And I thought, really? And so I was doing it, and I rested one hand on top of the radio to try and get it. And suddenly the volume swelled. And I thought, wait a minute, what happened there? I didn't touch that. And ever so often I would go to the radio and do this thing. And that was before we had a television. I would do this thing. And then I started going nearer and drawing back and going nearer, and realized every time I got near to the radio, with my presence, I affected the volume. Yeah, Patricia, you got that, don't you? And that was amazing for me. Yeah, I thought, why is this happening? But I couldn't, at that time, I wasn't knitting the whole thing with electricity in me, silica, right? And the silica in me and the crystals in me, I didn't really knit it up. But when we got the television, that was much more dynamic. So everybody has had an experience, I'm sure, of going near the television, wiping the television. So this is in the Caribbean, you have chores as children, and one of it was to wipe surfaces, anything with glass or anything like that. So I was there wiping this television, and I looked around, there's nobody in the room. I thought, I'm just going to sneak it on, because you're not allowed to just turn it on without permission. So I turned it on very slowly, lowered the volume, and then I went and I was wiping it, and suddenly all my hair went up to the screen like that, and I went shh, and I felt this thing coming into my hair, and it went in my head, and I thought, whoa, what just happened? And that was a game. So when nobody was around, I'd turn it on and go back, shh, and I'd think, why did I couldn't figure that out for many years, but I used to do it quietly, and I wouldn't tell anybody I was doing that. And the reason why, everything comes in waves, but everything also has a magnetic resonance. Yeah, radio waves have a magnetic resonance. So if you are doing that, if this is happening between you and the television, therefore you have something that is magnetically connected to that. And what is it? It's the energy, because we are electrical beings, and it's powerful. And we forgot how powerful we really, really are. Right? This power is incredible. It is not a simple power. And if you really took your intention and focus with it, it is a power like a bomb. It could be as powerful as that you could alter consciousness around you by your beingness. And that is one of the things that when you start doing Shaolin martial arts, particularly Shaolin, because they come from a more sedate, more spiritual aspect, Tai Chi, Qigong, and yoga, they try to keep telling you everything with intention is going to amplify your pranic level, and the pranic level is going to bring you back. Once you harness it in this particular way with nourishment and with love, you amplify, and it becomes a wonderful consciousness tool. Not only are you helping you, because we have, so in all the Vedic books, I had to study 5 books from India in order to qualify as a yoga teacher here in the UK. And the one thing each book said continuously is, there is no separation. There is no separation among things. There is no separation among people. There is no separation among people and animals. There is no separation among people, animals, and plants, and insects, and reptiles. There is no separation between us and the sea, and the land, and the air, and the sun, and the earth, and the sky. There is no separation. And you all know this already. Okay? We know this. So, what would interfere with this amazing energy that we have free flowing in us? What would cause it to be debunked? What would cause it to hiccup? And if it does, what would happen to us? Is it important that we always stay in balance? Oh, today I don't want to be in balance. I just want to have a nice big fat ice cream cone with lots of whatever they dribble on it. And or I'm going to have 2 drinks and I'm feeling nice and woozy. Well, I don't know about that because I don't drink. But anyway, I see people tottering around all the time because the English people love their pubs, you know. So what if we did that? Would it really be serious? I mean, it's just a little bit of fun. It is a little bit of fun. And sometimes it's kind of interesting just to do the radical and to do something different and spontaneous. And spontaneity, I think, is really good. I do think so.
No.
But, yeah. Yeah. But it's to get it back again. So you go off on a tangent, but how do you get back? How do you come back to yourself? How do you come back to you? How do you come? So this is your temporary home, your vessel, your temporary home. This is not who you are. What did you see just now? Joan wiggling her hips, going like that, looking kind of random and whoa, what is she about? This is not me. This is not what I really look like. I'm more scary than that. No, no. This is not what I really look like. This is not who you look like. This is not who we are. We are energy. We are energy. My brother, is anybody aware of this? Yes, you are. Some people here are clairvoyant. Some people are clairsentient. Yeah, I think you are, Cindy, aren't you?
I'm clairaudient and clairsentient.
Okay. So we have clairvoyant, and it is all the senses, okay? So in yoga, we talk about the 4 minds, and it is because the senses feed us, our conscious mind, which in yoga is called ahamkara, and it is referred to, ahamkara is the ego mind, and they talk about the 4 minds, okay? So it's not so important to know about that at this point. It's just important to know that we are constantly being fed through these 4 aspects. And siddhis is the word for these clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, amplification of sensitivity that we have in the West. In India, they call it siddhis, S-I-D-D-H-I, and they are these gifts, and some people are actually born. My brother was born with one as a baby. As soon as he was able to open his eyes and started seeing and became cognizant of what he was seeing, he would see everybody in these colors. He never told anybody that. And when he actually told me, he was in his 30s and he was not well because he had lived a musician life, a random life, you know, just playing music and smoking and drinking with the guys and all over the place. And he lost it. And I said, what? How do you mean he could see colors? And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the auric field. He was able to see everybody in colors. And the one thing he said was, depending on how they behaved, the colors would change very quickly. So if they were happy, the colors would be one way, and if they were sad, they would be another way. Can you knit this up? Are we knitting this up? If the energy is affecting you that much, and it goes into the auric field, and there are 7 bands around you, okay? The gates are at the back of the body, yeah? And each gate has an opening that goes into the auric field. Okay, so the one closest to the body, it will be the base chakra, and so on and so on and so on. And the last one out here would be the higher level one. We call it in yoga Sahasrara, the crown chakra. Okay, and that is out there. How wide it is in each person is very individual. It depends, again, on your conscious awareness. And that's an interesting thing. So if you sit close to someone and you're not feeling their energy, it might be that you've switched off your awareness or that their consciousness is a bit small. If you are sitting, I've had this, all right? If you're sitting across the room from somebody and you're turned your back to them and you start feeling somebody is looking at me or somebody's thinking about me, and you turn around, catch someone, and I love to do this. This is kind of the fun thing with understanding this. You suddenly turn around and you catch them and they're looking at you and you think, I got your energy. It's because you did.
Mm-hmm.
It is because, and we all have had that, haven't we?
Yes.
There's nobody here who's not felt that. Nobody. Some more than others. You walk into a room and you can feel, oh, I can feel this one. Oh, this one's going to accept me right away. Well, that one's not too. A little bit, that one's doubtful. Oh, no. Yeah, I can feel this one. Might have to work at this and things. You can pick that up right away. Right away. And it's this energy field inside, the prana, the chi. The chi is pumping out. And as my brother said, it changes the auric field. The light, the colors around you change. Now, going back to the wave. Right, going back to the wave. Officially, okay? Going back to the frequency of the waves. What does that have to do with anything at all? Okay? So, certain types of emblems and signs are coded. We are all coded, and these things have codes as well. And certain things have codes. So, the root chakra has a code, and it's 256 hertz. And it's really connected to this solfeggio rhythm, talks to these, okay? So we're going to go through the chanting because I'm going to show you that there are many. Oh my goodness, I can't even begin to give you all of the different ways that you can balance and harmonize yourself, okay? But this, if I sing it, you will realize this is a very ancient thing, and it was believed that it was given to David because before he became King David, by Archangel Ezekiel up on a hillside, okay? So he gave him these notes. I don't know if he recorded the actual hertz in them, but we know them now as Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. We learned this at school, didn't connect it to energy at all, but these are waves, these are bands, and they're connected to inside of us, okay? So each one of these frequencies has something. The pineal, for instance, up at the top here, yes, is either 852 or 963 hertz. Yeah, incredible. So you could tell that that is kind of like a high thing. The one, the love, 528 hertz for the heart. And I'm telling you, you don't need to know these hertz. I mean, I'm curious, so I went into this a little bit more. And when I bought the music from Michael Terrell, he was very good. He actually produced a little manuscript, and I highlighted all of these and which one they talk to which chakras and things like that. So you can start understanding that if you know these waves and you think that one of your chakras is out of balance, you can actually go online. It's free, YouTube and stuff like that. You don't need to have his music. It is a little bit more expensive than a normal album, but you can put in solfeggio for the heart and you will get two options, 432 hertz or 528. Now 432 and 528 are also some of the music that in India they use to harmonize their instruments. And what they used to do is, as they were tuning and harmonizing their music before they did some kind of chanting session, people would come in and they were encouraged to come and sit and listen to them. while they were tuning, what was happening, they were tuning the people in to harmony in the same time. And so people weren't quite understanding. They just knew that, oh my God, they're only tuning up, but we're feeling good. Yeah, we feel good. But they were actually using the 432 and the 528. And those are two of the most popular ones. You can get one piece of music that incorporates all of these hertz: 256, 396, 417, 432, 444, 528, 782, 852, and 963, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You can get one song that will incorporate all of these. It is good, but purists believe, like if you're taking, I have an upset stomach and a headache, so I'm going to put both of these medications at the same time and go down the hatch. And some people would say, no, have this one before meals and have this one with water after you've eaten. And that's what the purists would say about the music, that it's best to use one and with intention on a specific chakra and harmonize it that way, and then go to the other one. I think that's choice. I have used both. I have to be honest, I do tend to use one at a time. The one that I always start with is the one that's considered, and I will play it a bit, it's considered the open gate. And it is, he called it the open gate, in 396. And it's to open the gateway from the base chakra leading up, because they all resonate one into the other. Okay, so the picture I showed you of the bands going up, let me just go into that a little bit more. There are 3 bands, and you already understand this by the plug that is plugged into the socket in the wall. We are like that. That's what we are. If you want light, so you're going to turn on the light, right? You want to get this light on. There are 3 electrical lines that form the ability to pull in the energy into that. And we already know it. Male and female. What was the third one? Now I had to ask an electrician about that because I was interested in this. And I didn't understand. He kept saying, well, you have to ground. Ground? I don't understand. What do you mean? Well, you always have to do this other thing that grounds. So I don't know if anybody, does anybody use any grounding things? Like, yeah, Patricia, you're into that. So I have a grounding sheet. Yes, I do, on my bed. And it's plugged into the socket. Yeah.
Right here.
Bernadette.
Right
What
here.
is that, Bernadette?
Pad.
Wow.
I'm sitting on a grounding pad when I'm on the computer.
Yeah. Bernadette. Oh my God, Patricia.
I have this little Vibes Up pad that's full of grounding material, and I use it, anything I put on it, it'll
Yes.
ground.
Yes.
Like this.
So
Yes.
I have them all over.
Yep. I got that
Oh
too.
my gosh.
Mine plugs into
That's why
a socket.
Water's on in my tea.
Anne has one as well. Oh my gosh. Everybody has these things.
We're
It's
all in-
everywhere. It's everywhere. It's
I use
everywhere.
it when I'm using electrical things. I sit on it and it goes into the plug, but it only has one plug, which is it's only plugging into the ground.
Yes.
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 No electrical.
Precisely.
It's always grounding, so that if you're not grounded, it grounds you.
Okay, well, I'm finished
Yes.
talking because you all
Same thing.
know all this stuff.
Well, we know it, but it's good to be reminded.
But I was told today, by the way, I was told they know this. They just need to remember. They just need to remember, because you know this. I think that some of you are teaching this. I have this feeling that some of you, you know, like Stephanie, I just feel it. Steph, you were there. Something in the past.
I don't have those things. I don't
I
do
could
those
see as an oracle or something. I was actually told
Yeah.
I was punished as an oracle. And so that's why I've always stayed away from being like mediumship and things like that, because I had a very bad time, apparently, many, I don't know how long. I think it was 5 lifetimes ago as an oracle in France, and I was punished and tied up. So anyway, back to this. So the grounding thing is plugged into the socket, but with the wiring, the switch turned off, not on. Now that was interesting. I didn't recognize that for a while. And I read it again, and then I went and I asked this friend who was an electrician, I don't understand about this. Why is it turned off? He said, when you're grounding, you're already connected. So you don't need to switch on. I said, so it's the other 2 points that come in, the male and female, that need to be switched on in order to get that juice to flow. Well, we already have all that. Hello?
Yeah.
We already have that. So these 3 things, these 2 things you saw here, you are seeing 2. Okay? It's actually 3, but they can't show the 3rd because the 3rd cord runs up alongside the spine. And these 2 are weaving around it at each gland. So the base chakra, the male and female, goes up from the legs, round at the base, and they do this. Now, what is that? It's an X, isn't it?
Yeah, crossing energy.
So I'm going to show you about that, because if there's an X occurring in our bodies naturally, it will be a wonderful way to harmonize and bring you back into balance, because it's all there and it's all natural. Does that make sense?
What
Yeah.
to you?
So this is at the bottom of the base chakra. It goes across each other, and then it cuts through the Sushumna, or that main meridian that's going up the spine. It is not the spine, it is etherical alongside, okay? And then it curves above the base and goes over your productive organs. And that's the next chakra. In male, gonads, and in female, the womb. And it does this thing across it, and the 3 points again, ignition. And then it goes solar plexus, ignition, heart, ignition, throat, thyroids, ignition. When it comes here, it's different. It comes here together as one. The 3 points come as one. Because if it stayed separated, you can either veer into too much male or too much female. You want to be now as one, which is exactly what we want when we get inspiration coming in from source. We want all the faculties as one and not split. And then it comes into this little, almost a cave. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of the one, I don't have it with me, but I do teach it to my class. The one culture that had a lot of it and used it as an emblem, which the pharaohs wore, was the Egyptians in the time of the pharaohs. And I know, Patricia, you know, don't you? I know you know this.
The Eye of Horus, you mean?
Yes! Oh my goodness.
The pineal?
Yes!
I like that one.
The Eye of Horus. They called it the eye because that's exactly what it did. It was the eye that connected to our I am presence. Our I am. And I'm going to teach you in a little bit how to use a chant to connect to your I am. Okay? Whoa, I just got a bit of tingling in the back of my head now, like, ooh. Is anybody feeling that? It's very interesting.
If you can, no, like the you have a card like of the pineal gland or the thyroid.
Yeah.
It looks, it's like the shade of the Eye of Horus, no?
Yes. And they were so clever. Now, that I wondered about, so I printed this off, and I actually teach it in my class a lot, that this is all part of what we knew in ancient times. I mean, you talk about the Egyptian and the pharaohs and all that. that was way, 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 way back in time. And if you think about how far back that is, it's a shocker. Ah, okay, I just found something here. Okay.
That is the importance, no?
Yes. Okay, so
But
now let me just show you
down,
the
anchor.
brain cut, the sliced brain. Can you see that? Right, we're looking at that outline there, and that is what they used to have in a decorative form as the Eye of Horus. Can you imagine they knew about this? So can you imagine what you knew as well? That's incredible.
Isn't that
so?
something?
What would throw our chakras and our energy field off? What would cause it to become unstuck? And how do you recognize it? And that's the key, how to recognize it. Okay.
Karen
And
is
it's
asking, the picture is showing 2 chakras in the head, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Who asked that?
It was Sherry.
Yes. So they have actually here, this one is not as clear as the one I normally use, because what they were actually highlighting here was that exit point, which they call bindu. And that in yoga is really, really important. But the two, one is up in there and the next one is down here. Then the pineal gland, and it's small. It's really, really small. And it's up there, hidden. It looks like a little, when you look at the bone, and I've actually seen it for real, it looks like a little cave, and it's hiding up in the cave with its incredible ponderance for importance in our bodies and our well-being. It's up in this little cave. It's very, very interesting. So yeah, the Eye of Horus. Okay, I got a colored chart with it. Is that clearer?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Can you all see that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Can you send me those so that I can put them in the video?
Okay.
Put a little.
So what I did was I went into some of my anatomy books because I thought that it's so interesting. So can you see here with the male and female, the chakra points and the endocrine system? And can you see the organs that they're affected, that is deliberately and completely under the chakra system?
Yeah.
All the main
organs
yeah,
are where the chakras are.
yeah.
Exactly, huh?
Yeah.
Can you
That
see
makes
that?
sense. Makes sense.
So if all these are the real chakras and they are male and female there, as you can see, so I usually do this as a handout for my students, yeah? If these are all the main organs that are controlled by each chakra, when we affect the chakras, these are the organs we're affecting. And it's a thing that happens immediately. And it's to how to recognize that we've done something and then to what to do about it. It's quite interesting. It is such a big field, what to do about this when it happens. So it's tied up with this. So when I show you this, this will become a bit clearer, and then I'll tell you how the colors, right? The 5 elements, we know about the 5 elements already, yeah? The top one is the one that we never pay attention to, ether. We know about it, but we don't think ether. What is ether? Ether? What does that have to do with anything? But we know about air. We know about earth. We know about fire. And we know about water. And these are talking to the different chakras. So this one here, earth, that has a lot to do with the grounding, and it talks to the base chakra. This fire, there's something, we know this, we've heard it in songs. And in the Caribbean, they always talk about, and when I say it, you'll know immediately. Fire in the belly.
Yeah.
What is the fire in the belly? It's very basic if you think about it. The fire in the belly is the digestive system.
Mm-hmm.
It is exactly. And where's the stomach? The stomach is more actually on the left side than the middle of the body, but it then goes into here where it's affected by the top of the colon, and all that is part of the fire in the belly. Air. Where's the air going? This is really base. It's the breath. And where's the breath? It's up here in the upper thoracic area. But the air will also have something to do. It will affect your thymus and your heart. You see? Okay? Gasping for breath when you have a heart attack. The air. Yeah? So can you see? You put the air out, and then it goes and affects your lungs, your thymus, and thymus is talking to the heart. Water. Where's the water going? Where do we find most of the water in the body? This is interesting.
It's actually everywhere, but
It's everywhere, but it's concentrated, particularly in women.
In the blood.
In the blood, but more than that, it's concentrated in a particular part of your body. And especially in women, think about something floating inside of you in water.
Yeah.
Oh, and your uterus.
Uterus.
Yes. Yes. The baby is swimming for 9 months. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Really important in women, really. And the sacrum center is doubly important because that is where your subconscious inner child dwells. It is an area not just for, it is not the soft, compassionate love, it is the physical love, the expression of the physical love, but also the expression of our creativity comes from there. That's where it lives. Can you see how much is involved in this?
Mm-hmm.
So we do something to throw it out, and there's all this stuff. So if anybody here is, well, other than Cindy, any writers, authors? Yeah? Okay. When you get a writer's block, your water element is out. Does that make sense?
It does.
Something is blocking down there, and you get a writer's block. Boom, it's out. It's gone somewhere. But it's not so hard to bring it back in if you know how to open and amplify and use certain hand gestures and certain sounds to tickle. Well, we are calmed down now. I can feel my body now much calmer than when we amplified that at the beginning, because we started with a big energy field building up with the 8s, right? And the figure of 8 really works with all of these. Okay, so can you see?
I ask you if that was fire, the movement.
Yes,
it raised the fire in
yes,
us.
and that's why we were doing the hip, because in the middle of the belly there, and that's why belly dancers roll that. Have you ever seen a proper belly dancer?
Yes, yes.
Well, I went to Turkey. I was slim then. I didn't have any belly then. And so I went to this famous belly dancer. She was 52 years old, okay? And I was 22. And I said, can you teach me? And she's trying to show me, and she's trying to explain, and I couldn't understand it, but she was showing me my belly, and she was going like this, meaning it was concave, and I needed a belly to roll. So when they're rolling their bellies, they're activating the fire.
Mm.
And when you can activate your fire, There's a lot more than just that. When the fire starts, the fire in the belly starts activating and amplifying, particularly for a woman undulating, it is not just sex, it is almost like a migratory energy that reaches out and pulls people in and pulls people in, and you get sucked in, you know. And I was being sucked in. I was just looking at this lady thinking she was back. One of the movements is to bend backwards, yeah, hold your body horizontally across a table, yeah, and just keep bumping the hip up. She's across the table going. So this is a very, very well-known movement in belly dancing. One hip, it's called the one hip drop. One hip, and she is backwards across this table. Well, only to the men. She didn't do it on my table, but I was just, so of course I went back to I was on a cruise. I went back to the cruise and injured myself because the boat is going like this and I'm trying to do this when nobody was looking in this. It was hilarious. And my friend, this girl, Ursula, we used to do a lot of things together, and she's going, oh God, why can't you just be normal? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just see things and just accept them? What? She said, look at you on the ground. What did you do? So twisted my ankle because the ship went ploop and I fell over the table and fell on the floor trying to do this amplification. But this amplification is firing up the belly, and it draws people in. But by doing that, when you get up and you see the reaction, every time you get a response with this, remember, we are magnetic creatures, we are electrical creatures. It moves out to others and we affect them. We affect them. So just remember, anything that you do, you are affecting yourself and others. May as well make it good. Because in yoga, we always say, and in the Far East, whatever you throw out comes back in like a boomerang. It goes out, it comes in. Like a wave. It's the wave again. Here we come back to wave. Right. We deal with colors. And we need to understand that every color has an energy and it is coded. So, red is the base chakra. We know that. And the code, the energy, the frequency is from 400 to 484 hertz. Would you believe? Orange is the sacral. Oh, by the way, the note C is the red, C. Okay, orange is D. The wavelength, the frequency is 484 to 508. Yellow is E, and it's 508 to 526. Green for the heart is F, and it's 526 to 606. Blue for the throat is G, yeah, 606 to 670. Indigo, third eye, is A, 670 to 700. And violet or amethyst, B, and that 700 to 789 hertz. And each color, as you say, is coded. They have codes. There's a little thing that happens, and when I found out about that, I got carried away with I always experiment with myself. I think it's the best way to learn, really. But it is said that your mind senses inside when things aren't quite right, and when you go to dress, you would say, okay, I need to wear black, and then something would say, no, I need white, or I need blue. And it is that innate sense inside that's saying, this color is the code you need today. Has everybody experienced that at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. And the first time I heard about that, I thought, nah, this is rubbish. And then I started looking at how I would dress in the morning. And I'd say, okay, right, I'm going to have this. I put it all out, lay it out in the bed, and then I put on the top and think, nah, not this top. Go back in and take something else. Why? Why would you do that? Why? Because something inside is saying you need this. Okay, so I'm going to come back to balancing using color in a minute. Okay, moving on. So now we see how important these 5 elements are and what they do. What happens,
Joan,
when, yeah.
before you continue, can we go ahead and just open it up for questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up for questions. Anybody that has a question or a comment that you want to make, go ahead and just raise your hand, if you will. Let's see. Anybody have questions or comments? Yes, Stephania?
And I'm mute. Hi,
There you go.
Yeah.
John, what do you think? Because, I try to, I'm a little more knowledgeable in traditional Chinese. It's all the same. The base is the same,
Yeah.
Holistic, more yogi, focus Ayurvedic. But I mean, they are both going deep into in health and with the body and the energy, where it's more like higher levels, like it's more like electricity, higher vibrations, but they go back. I mean, it's very important in the same time through us going into the air that is more the light force. You were talking before.
Yes.
Prana, no prana, life force. Chinese, when you were talking, they have, yes, the soul houses that could be the chakras from the root all the way up to the ground, 7. You were talking about the lower dantian, which is like the belly button, 1 thumb and a half, that they say like 2.5 centimeters, and down a little bit is life, is like the ball, red ball, life force for life, but really it's like within an angle, a little like in a triangle from the solar plexus with the lower dantian with the Songgong.
Yes.
That the Songgong, as you come with your life force 100%, it's like a triangle right there here.
Yep.
And sometimes we waste, but like apparently, and I'm sorry, no wanna. And then I mean, like, I don't know, maybe I'm feeling, but understanding like you focus more in like a triangle, or like not really triangle, more complex, but higher. But apparently, it's very important that we do both work, no?
Yeah. It's important that we
talking about the elements and where it is. Chinese is like what I was sensing is they do sorry.
Go on.
That the movement, your movement, but all works around like to connect is very important, has connected the higher with the kidneys, because it's the fire and the water, no?
Yeah.
The water, because to the yin yang too, but to calm the body, It's
yes.
Combination. I'm sorry, I don't know, I feel like I was talking too much, but I just comfort you also. In Ayurvedic, also focus with that, no? And the same with all, no?
It is important. Not only do you need to activate the ones that you think you need to balance, but you also have to understand that this cord runs from the soles of the feet all the way up and beyond. There are 3 gates above here that are beyond the physical head. There are 3 gates that this energy goes through. And if it cannot run evenly and easily through it, that's where the problem starts. Wherever it gets stuck, imagine that your body, we just said the body is a vessel, but body is like a house. right? So you go to the toilet and the one downstairs isn't flushing well. What will happen to the one upstairs? If the one downstairs is blocked and that one is the nearest one to take all the waste matter out into the receptacle to go to where it needs to get to, obviously the one at the top is going to be suffering because of that. Doesn't that make sense? So if there's a block in the base, it's going to affect the one further up at the top. And that's what it is with our bodies. If there's a block in your base chakra, all that beautiful energy that is grounded and coming through all the time won't get to flow easily. And wherever it stops, the side effect is some kind of dis-ease. And when it becomes something that taps into any emotion, it then becomes a disease. And then it's a problem.
Joan, I want to go ahead and answer more questions, but I want to go ahead and switch to the meditation and prayer, because I know that people have things that they want to do today. And,
Yes.
And so we will, we can continue this conversation.
Yep.
At another date, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful. But before we do the meditation, I just want to show you one thing that is really good for grounding and going in to heaven and earth. And this is something I do every morning. Okay. And it's so easy. It's unbelievable. So watch. The hands start here. They pass. Yeah. And you start with the right hand turning palm up and the left hand turning palm down. The right hand goes up to heaven and the left one goes down to earth. So the palms have 2 chakra points in them, and one connects to heaven and one connects to earth, and you're standing up. And then you have to do it the other way, obviously. They pass without touching. Activate, you will feel it, ribbons start talking, and then the left goes up and the right goes down. Yeah. Now in Qigong and Tai Chi, you do that 7 times. That's their discipline, to do it 7 times. So you start right hand up, left hand down, and you usually end with the left hand up, right hand down. Okay, it's really simple. The hands pass, right hand goes up, left hand goes down. Pass, activate, left hand up, right hand goes down. And as you're doing that, you're breathing. You exhale the hand up, you inhale the hand down, and you're breathing and imagining at each electrode point connecting to heaven and earth. So you ground, but you also take the energy up to that point. I usually visualize that I'm connecting to my angelic realm. You can connect to whichever feels good. My galactic family, and before I do that, I always say, you know, I'm doing this, I'm connecting with my galactic family, and I'm connecting to Earth, Gaia. I'm part of Gaia, and I'm going into Gaia now. Gaia is supporting me, and as I'm doing that, I breathe, and I actually think about these 2 points that I connect to all the time. Never ever moving away from this thing with this, I am a part, because the discipline is in yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, Ayurvedic medicine, and traditional Chinese medicine. Everything is one vibratory source. We are Gaia, we are heaven, we are the omniverse. We have in our hearts a little golden light, and that is part of source. Does that make sense? And this amplifies this, and it is a way to balance you very quickly.
And Joan, I want you to come back and continue this. What a great class this has been. Thank you.
Going to the little meditation?
Yes, I want to go to the world viewing room.
Okay.